Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the 25 best mods in Baldur's Gate 3's patch 7 mod manager. There's a lot of great ones here that add a lot to the game, which we'll be covering in this video. So the first one I want to talk about is the Move Faster mod. It's all one word, move faster. What this mod does is it increases your movement speed by double, and you can see here this is great if you want to go explore around, or if you've played this game many times before. This mod just speeds things up so that you can get through the areas you want to see. I also, not in this video, but I'm using the native camera tweaks mod to be able to move around and see things from a different angle, as well as the WASD movement mod. These are on Nexus mods, so they're not really in this video, but just want to mention them anyways. But yeah, this is the Move Faster mod here, and just doubles your movement speed, which is incredibly useful. Now, another really great mod is the Extra Encounters mod. So this will add upwards of 11 new mini bosses and 18 new encounters to the game. What's great about this is it adds them to some very nice locations that I found a little bit lackluster in terms of enemy density. So this adds a bunch of new enemies, including a Shadow Mound mini boss to Rivington, adding a Sahagin encounter to Rivington, and I guess this is the latest update. Most of these are in Act 1 and 2. You can see here the Avatar of Lakith, and then we also got some different aberration fights here, and Forged Fire. What's nice about this is it adds a bunch of extra fights to the game that I think just enhances the overall experience. You can see here in Act 1 as well, Little John, and some more fights here right at the start of the game. So this just enhances your gameplay. If you've played through many times and have the increased party size mod, this is great because it adds a ton of new fights. This is made by Mod, and there is a absolute ton of them. Like, you got yourselves a skeletal dragon mini boss in Act 2. So 11 new mini bosses, 18 encounters spread throughout the game nicely. There's also another mod that goes perfectly with this, made by Mod as well, and that is the More Enemies mod. So this takes the already great encounters in the game and makes them more difficult. Like, for example, it may add another ogre here, or in the start it may add some more imps to the Mind Flayer. So this fully enhances the combat encounters that you'll experience in the base game, makes them more difficult, gives you some more enemies. This means you'll get more experience, but there's also mods that can reduce the amount of experience that you gain from this so that it does balance out. I think it's awesome though, because some parts of the game just are not that challenging, and adding more enemies to this can make this a lot more fun. So Mod made both of these. They're an incredible mod. And also we got ourselves the Ancient Mega Pack. What this mod does is it adds a bunch of new weapons to the game, new armors, etc., but it also randomizes your loot and gives you different loot choices for whenever you complete a quest. Fully randomized. That's a big keyword here, because some parts of the game, you know exactly where XYZ is if you play this game many times. So getting a random choice is really fun, because it's going to have an accurate amount of like rarity, so that you're not getting super overpowered stuff right off the bat. But also you have to play with what the game gives you at this point. So you can't pick and choose your build. You have to roll with the punches. I think this is great if you've already beaten Baldur's Gate 3 and you want something a little bit differently. Paramanov has made this mod, and it adds a bunch of weapons. It also changes the rarity of some weapons as well. So that's awesome. But it does have a ton of new options for armor. There are 445 new artifacts, some new items that are spread throughout the game, basically giving you freedom to have a randomized run as much as possible. So yeah, lots of different options. It adds a bunch of other things you can add to this mod as well. Paramanov made a great mod here, and there's even further choices you can go with. So really, really fun. I love this mod. Now, we also got ourselves Tactician Enhanced. This mod is made by Pixelbytes. They did a great job with this one, because what this does is it allows you to fully scale up the difficulty of the game how you see fit. So if you want enemies to have 200% health, you can do that. You can also give them more actions or more bonus actions. So you have the choice. You can scale this depending on how many teammates that you have in your party. So if you're using the increased party size mod, also by Pixelbytes, or adjustable party limit, with this, you can combine both these mods so that if you have 8 party members, it gives every enemy an extra action and X amount of health. It's fully scalable how you see fit. So you can see here, this one gives 1 additional action, 2 additional bonus actions, and increase health points by 85%. You can fine tune this by 5%. You can also change their actions up to 4 actions or 4 bonus actions. And there's a bunch of different spells that you can use to select to change this. It's very intuitive. And yeah, you can do this with any difficulty. It works flawlessly. I found this mod to work really great. I know a lot of people are looking forward to this mod, and it's now available, and it works just, it's just so great, especially because certain parts of the game become really easy, especially if you're using like level 20 mod and increased party size mod. The game becomes easy, and to make it challenging again, this has a lot of new options. So there's going to be new additional adds to this game, like adding in armor class or increased saving throws to enemies. So this mod creator Pixelbytes is working on some great updates, which I think is just goes to show how they're really working to make sure that this is a good experience for everyone. In the same vein, we got ourselves from Tactician Enhanced to the adjustable party limit mod, also made by Pixelbytes. What's nice about this is you can take as many people as you want on your party, upwards of 16 characters. This includes hirelings, so if you want to have a good, like if you want to have Minsk and Jahara in Act 3, this mod is essential because you get both of these characters laid, and they have a lot of great stuff in Act 3, but you already got your established party that you may want to play with. So this can add a whole lot to it. So I love this mod. Don't mind Gale with the Bloodborne armor there. But yeah, this just, it's an incredible mod, allowing you to choose spells that will increase the amount of party members that you got at one time. And this works again in addition to the Tactician Enhanced mod too. So yeah, this just adds so many choices. You can choose more party members, see more lore, and the game actually balances this really well. There are some game breaking bugs, so just be mindful of these, like going on the boat in Act 1. But what's nice about this is it'll actually, like if you go into a conversation with someone, there's typically only going to be 4 people with you. So with this, it'll actually make it so that your top 4, the top 4 characters that'll be most likely to engage in the conversation will be there alongside you. So if you're talking to Duke Ravengard and you have everyone, it'll bring Will out. Or if you're talking to Shadowheart's parents, it'll make sure that Shadowheart's there. So it just adds a lot of great things to the game. So I think that this is an essential one that just is fun to play around with. So next we got ourselves the level curve unlocked. So there's actually a lot of mods now that are getting support for upwards of level 20. So those mods, things like the Oath of Conquest Paladin, the Mystic class, many others have upwards of level 20. I'm also posting level 20 build guides. So if you're looking for any type of class combination, whether it be the fighter or the bard or the sorcerer, there's a lot of great level 20 class combinations that we can go with. So you can check out my channel for some more of those. It's a whole lot of fun. I think that the level 20 mod is great and just adds a lot to the game. This mod was made by Dustbag. However, one little thing I want to note, this mod does cause issues if you're using the Druid Wild Shape. You can't gain any of the Druid Wild Shape forms. It has been updated in 54 days. The mod creator is aware, so hopefully we shall see an update to this, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that. Next, we got ourselves the Mistress Spells mod. Now, what I love most about Mistress Spells is it adds a ton of different choices to the game, with most of these being 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons spells that just did not make it. So if you look here, we got our regular cantrips, but also in addition, we got things like Booming Blade, Create Bonfire, Toll the Dead, Frostbite, Green Flame Blade, Gust, Infestation, Larlock's Minor Drain, Lightning Lure, Mind Sliver, Molders, Prestigiation, Sapping Sting, Sword Burst, and Thunderclap. So many different choices here for cantrips. What's nice about this is there's spells all the way up to level 6, and there's further support being added to this mod. So you can see there's a ton of different spells here. Some of my favorites, Agonazar Scorcher at level 3, or level 2, I guess. Level 2 spell at level 3. With this, it shoots like lightning bolt in a bit shorter radius, but it deals fire damage. A lot of fun. I also like the Frost Fingers too, which is an early game spell. It's like Cone of Cold, but you get it at the start of the game, does 2d8 cold. And you can create ice surfaces with this if you got a cleric dropping create water. So a lot of cool synergies. It doesn't break the game. There are some spells like Steel Wind Strike here. This is a level 5 spell, which lets you attack 5 different targets and deal a 60-10 of damage to them. So that's really strong. It's definitely the best spell in this. But there's a lot of other ones that I think work really well in this mod. So it's an absolute blast. You can summon in dragons. You can use Green Flame Blade. You got yourself Booming Blade here. Toll the Dead, a very popular cantrip. The Steel Wind Strike, which I mentioned. Planar Calling, which allows you to summon in a Cambion at level 5. And we got ourselves like the Enervation spell, which reduces health points. It's a fun spell. Mistress Spell goes without saying. Random Killer did a great job with this. This is like the 5th edition spell mod that was previously on Nexus mods. I uninstalled that mod because this one just works a whole lot better. So I highly recommend using this mod. It's just a blast and adds so much more to the game if you've already played through multiple times. Now, another mod that I want to show off is the Fighter subclass mod. This one's made by Sumra Dagnoth, and with this mod, what it does is it adds all the fighter subclasses from this is a Nexus mod that's now made into the in-game mod manager. So what this looks like, we got things like the Arcane Archer, which gives us a bunch of different arrow attacks, like the Beguiling Arrow or the Grasping Arrow. Also got Piercing Arrow, which shoots in a straight line, you can rip through enemies. The Seeking Arrow, which is like a magic missile for your arrows. Shadow Arrow, which makes darkness. Bursting Arrow, which does force damage and hits in a huge area. And the Banishing Arrow, which can banish a target. So this one is a lot of fun, but there's also many others you can see here. So like the Banneret or Purple Dragon Knight. This is more so a buffer, like a kind of like a champion, the Lord of the Rings online champion, which supports your team. It's got the rallying cry, so you can use your second wind on your teammates. And we also got ourselves, the Shield Master is a separate mod, but the Brute, which increases the amount of damage whenever you're hitting with a weapon you're proficient in. Cavalier, which gives you increased movement speed because there's no horses in Baldur's Gate 3, but you can mark targets and move around a little bit quicker towards them. The Psi Warrior, this class is somewhat like the Battle Master, but it has psychic abilities, and you get the Psionic Energy die to deal a little bit extra damage with your attacks, and you can move targets around with telekinesis. The Rune Knight, which uses runes to empower their attacks, and you can make yourself large with a large rune. This one's pretty fun. And you also have the Samurai, which I know a lot of people really like. It gives you advantage on your attacks and temporary health points with a bonus action. Green Knight is a separate one. This is like a Eldritch Knight, but with druid spells instead. But yeah, this mod here is a whole lot of fun. Sumra Dagnoth did a great job with this, and they also have a Barbarian mod too, so I'm hoping to see more of these get spread over. With the Barbarian mod, we got ourselves things like the Ancestral Guardian, the Battle Rager, the Beast, the Giant, the Juggernaut, Storm Herald, and the Zealot. So a lot, or Zealot. We got a lot of different choices here. I love these two mods. I previously downloaded all of them from Nexus Mods. To see them in the in-game mod manager now is just amazing. They also made some monk subclasses like the Way of the Long Death and the Way of the Sun Soul, and the Way of the Kensei, which is a monk that uses weapons. So I hope to see those come soon. They did a great job with that mod as well. Another one, the Treasure Trove Weapons and Armor mod. So this one, there's just so much to list and show off. There's like 500 different weapons between different weapons. They all use the base game icons for them and their base game appearances, but there's some that are ones that you wouldn't normally get access to. A bunch of different armor pieces as well that added a lot to them. There's mostly, for the most part, there's a lot of OP ones, but I still think that this is a lot of fun too. So definitely recommend checking this out if you're looking for something new, because this just adds a whole lot of new weapons that got cool advantages. You can switch them around every long rest. This is like the Elven Chain, but a little bit enhanced Lathlander's protection. What's nice about this is it actually is kind of, it feels like it's thematically meant to be in the game. None of these weapons feel out of place or armor feel out of place. Horizon VTP is the creator of this mod. It's just a whole lot of fun. There's a bunch of unique weapons and even things that reference Divinity Original Sin 2, like Los's Loot here from Divinity Original Sin 2. So yeah, a lot to love. You also got specific items for like Gale with the Water Deep armor set, Jahara, Githyanki's. So pretty much any class or character that you want, you got a nice piece of armor for them. Also, the Thunder's Extra Races mod. I love this mod because it adds a ton of races. So you got things like Bugbear. You can play as a Bugbear right off the start of the game. We also got things like playing as a Genie or a Dryad. This is the girl form. Here's the guy form with the Woodwode. We also got the Kobold, which is the second most requested race mod in the game. So yeah, it does have some issues when you start off because you can't really put armor on yourself, but you can play as a Kobold. We also got like the Myconids here. You can be Glut. And there's goblins. There's a bunch of different goblin mods out there, but this one consolidates them all into one place. This mod was made by Thunder4884, and it's an absolute blast. Hasn't been updated in a while, but there's a bunch of other race mods out there with more coming. I don't want to focus too much on that because, yeah, there's a lot of them, but yeah, Thunder's race mod combines the most of them. There's also the D&D Expanded, which has a lot of them as well. So here's the D&D Expanded by Bukomon in 1D10. So you got like the Arinye's mod. You can be the water folk there. You can be a Cambion or a kind of, yeah, you got yourself the wings there. And this one here is a Cyrene. We also got another Cambion one here. This mod looks incredible. You can play as a goblin as well. You can play as the Cambion Cyrene, Kender, Goliath, Goblin, Half Giant, Tallfellow, Halfling, Avariel, Asimar, and many others. So yeah, there's a lot of great mods out there. There's different giant looks. The goblins, you can use face paint on them. You make yourself look pretty much like whatever you want. Different half fellows or different halflings there. Yeah, great mod. I just love that one. Next, we got ourselves the Fear Tailor's Camp Clothing mod. Now, this mod has a lot going for it because it just got updated. It's got 579 different pieces of armor. I'm wearing here the Nightsong armor, so I know a lot of people wanted this armor set because it looks really nice. Chainmail, and you normally can't access it. But there's many other choices. Like, I could go off and show every single piece. Like, there's so many ones here. Merkle clothing is one of the more popular ones, so I know a lot of people really like these. The Merkle armor, and the Merkle is Scandalous in particular is one that I know a lot of people really do enjoy, because you see a lot of videos with this armor set on. It's cool. I like the Fear Tailor Camp Clothing mod. It just adds a whole lot to the game. I could go off and show this off for a long time just because, again, there's so many things. You got like lower city armor. Yeah, you can give yourself any outfit that's in the game, and then there's some that are even modified versions of outfits too. So got mage clothing, monk clothing, and I know a lot of people look forward or want some of these monk clothings that they got. So things like this here, which uses the it's like a different version of the Vest of Soul Rejuvenation, but kind of cropped up here. And then there's many other monk outfits too that I think look pretty nice. So the monk wrap, the soul rejuvenation here. So you got different kinds that I think a lot of people would benefit from using. So this one here is a different crop version of it. There's ones that pretty much any outfit in the game, you can find some kind of variation of this. This mod was made obviously by Fear Tailor, one of the most popular ones. It's been updated literally pretty frequently. Like one day ago we got an update. But what goes well with the Fear Tailor's Camp Clothing mod is also the Faerun's color mod. Now what this does is it adds a ton of new dye options, so 88 as of now, and more being added. So you can go ahead here and change the appearance of pretty much anything. And a lot of Fear Tailors, not every single Fear Tailor outfit can be changed, but you can see here it does have a cool color mapping. So many different options here. You got the reds, and then there's also commissions, which has a lot of cool choices here, with some being like a pure white dye, which we haven't seen many of. And there's also some like pure black ones. There's thematic ones too. Like so many different choices here. You got Dark Urge armor, which is mostly dark with a little bit of red here. And I think that, oh yeah, this looks cool. You got that glowing red in the center. So there's a lot to love with Fear Tailor's Camp Clothing mod alongside the Faerun Colors mod. This one's made by TechRoot. Fantastic job with this. And we also got ourselves the Hair Unlocked mod. So this adds pretty much any hair that you see on an NPC to the game's database for hair selection. So there's been a few different versions of mods like this, so you can pick and choose which one you want. This one is the most complete version, made by Shane H147. So what this ends up looking like is when you go to your hair selection, you got all sorts of base game hair. So you can give yourself the Shadowheart look, you can give yourself Mizora's slicked back, greasy look. You got, there's many different Shadowheart forms. There's Lae'zel without her attachments. There's Gortash. There's Gale hair. There's Astarion hair. These are the puffed up versions, but regular Astarion hair. There's two different versions of this, so some of them have different appearances, but very minor changes. This one here, the NPC hair mod, and you can give yourself even like Mizora or Mistra's hair. I think this one's incredible. My favorite one on PC, however, is the Tav's Hair Salon. There's just so many great choices in this mod, but there's great choices also in the in-game mod manager for hair. So yep, this one does a great job of adding so many different things. You can create your own character the way you want it with hair that, you know, suits their character. So this one's great. Now for some of the class mods that I think are fantastic, we got ourselves the Arcane Vanguard here, made by Sathos. What's great about this mod is it's got 4 distinct subclasses in it. So with this mod, you got yourself the Arcane Vanguard. It's got the choice of cantrips, including Mistress spells in it. So shouts out to them for putting this together. And yeah, you got choice in spells, but you also get some cool fighting styles, like the ability to add your intelligence and dexterity modifier to armor class, increasing your movement speed by 6 meters, giving you the empowered arcana when you hit with a weapon attack. Whenever you hit a critical hit with a weapon, you can increase your spell critical hit chance. Expose cuts, which will increase the melee makes your spells do more damage when you hit with a melee. And this one makes your spells or cantrip steal more when you hit with a ranged weapon attack. So a good combination between juggling the physical and the magical side of casting. And then 4 subclasses, with the Eldritch one being more so focused on psychic and applying mental fatigue to targets. The Judgment being my favorite. This is the most elemental based. It gives you things like Green Flame Blade. But also whenever you hit with a spell or cantrip, your weapon gets additional damage of that type. So further enhancing your ability to attack and deal magical damage. You also got the Sentinel, which kind of like the Paladin. You get yourself some healing and radiant spells. And also whenever you heal a creature, you add your intelligence modifier to your next weapon attack. Pretty cool. And the Arcane Dervish, which gives different flourishes, and as you level up, you get different versions of them. So this one will reduce the target's armor class. This one deals additional force damage. This one raises your own armor class. This lowers enemy attack rolls. This increases your attack rolls. Really fun class combination here. I'm a big fan of this one. I've done builds on all 4 subclasses. If you want to see these in further detail, you can check out my channel for that. Now, we also got some heavy hitters with the Blood Sorcerer mod. I think that this is one of the most fleshed out classes. I know a lot of people really like the Blood Mage, but the Blood Mage doesn't even hold a candle to the Blood Sorcerer. Because with this one, we get ourselves Blood Bolt, Blood Sacrifice, Blood Needle. It adds a bunch of new spells to the game, but it has some cool effects. So you basically, this is a high risk, high reward class. So whenever you spell cast, you got a chance of, or you can hurt yourself. So some of the spells will deal additional damage to you, and if you are bleeding, you deal additional damage with some of them. This is a reaction. It's kind of like the Hellish Rebuke, but it's Blood Rebuke, doing additional 2d8 if you're not bleeding, or 3d8 if you are bleeding. So you want to set up with a Blood Sacrifice, which bleeds you and the target, and then you also get advantage on attack rolls when bleeding and against bleeding targets. And then also spells you cast make you ignore resistance and immunity to necrotic, so it ignores a big weakness of necrotic damage, which everything is resistant to it. So now you also heal yourself with necrotic spells, because all these are marked off as necromancy spells. It's a blast. You also get the regular sorcerer spells, so you can set up and do your regular sorcerer shenanigans. However, you get some really cool spells, and my favorite being at level 5, you get a spell that you can bind to target. You can see here the full spell list. So this one here, whenever you create blood pools on the ground, you can use those to bind targets to them and stop them in their tracks. It makes them unable to move, and they're stuck there, and it deals a good amount of damage. So yeah, this one, you also get things like Scorching Ray, but blood, a fireball, but that does necrotic damage, and then like an ice storm that does necrotic damage. It's just an absolute blast, and I highly encourage you to try this one out. If you didn't like the Blood Mage, I think you'll love this one. This mod was made by Sturm1212. Did a fantastic job with this one. Next, we got ourselves the Oath of Conquest Paladin. I'm a Paladin fan, but I think that this one is a really well done mod. So we got the Oath of Conquest here. Also a fan of the Oath of the Eldritch Hunt, but the Conquest Paladin has support up to level 20, as I mentioned previously. With this, it has a bunch of different effects. This mod was made by Havsglimt, and it's an absolute blast to play with. So with this, you got Armor of Agathis Command, Hold Person, Spiritual Weapon, Bestow Curse, Fear, Dominate Beast, Stone Skin, Cloud, Kill, and Dominate Person. And you also get the ability to Channel Oath. Whenever you place it on target, you get advantage on attack rolls against them for 3 turns. And you make, whenever they make an attack against you, and you can apply psychic damage. And also with this, it makes them make a wisdom saving throw or become frightened of you whenever you attack. So a lot of different effects. That was the Conquering Presence here, which does psychic damage, makes them frightened. You get a Channel Oath adding a +10 to your weapon attack rolls. The Aura Conquest deals psychic damage and reduces movement speed if the target's fearful of you, which you want to apply as much as possible. You get Scorn for Rebuke, so this will apply psychic damage when you get attacked. And the Invincible Conqueror, level 20, it's 10 turns, basically. You critical hit, higher chance, you get free attack, and yeah, it's extremely useful. So this has support all the way up to level 20. Havsglimt's done a great job with these mods, and also they also released the Circle of the Stars Druid, which I'm a big fan of, so love this mod. Now, we also got another race mod here, which I think is great, and also an update for console. They're fixing a console mod update issue with this would crash consoles, so they're working to release that, but this will come to console once that's fixed. So the Aasimar gives you the ability to fly around. They are pretty strong. You can make your character look like Dame Aelin. And yeah, you get the abilities, different abilities here, like Necrotic Shroud, which can make targets around you become fearful. And then also you get different, you get an Unholy Smite, The different body types, one of them you can make look like Dame Aelin too, which is awesome. So yeah, there's a lot of different choices here. So really fun. You get your ability to get wings at level 3, so you can apply those to your body. And yeah, you can make yourself look like Dame Aelin if you want that. So Asimar race, this is the non-ability score improvement version. There's one that adds a bunch of extra ability scores to you. Mod made by Rosprey. They did a great job on this one. Next, we got ourselves the Vampire Origin. Speaking of Origin mods, this one allows you to start the game as a vampire. So you get a Vampire Bat transformation. You can turn into Mist form, kind of like Cazador. You get a Vampire Bite, which will heal you and hurt the target. And then you're vulnerable to radiant damage and fire damage, but you're resistant or immune to necrotic damage. So that's pretty cool. Giving risk and reward, I think, makes some of these mods work very well. So yeah, you become a vampire and you can bite targets to make them a vampire too. So if you want your whole team as a vampire, you can make them all vampires. And you also get the happy effect, which can heal you for 1d4 per turn. Carry capacity is doubled, restore from being down in mist form, and movement and speed is increased by 3. So yeah, there's some changes this mod creator has worked on updating it. Lord President here. There's an update 1 day ago, and yeah, new updates coming very regular. So Vampire Origin, it's a lot of fun. Next, we have the facial animations mod. Now this one is cool because basically what it does is it makes your character's face change and move around differently. So whenever you're you can see the eyes there moving, she's making different animations with the face there. And it applies to like teammates too. Like if you go and change characters here, they'll also have different animations that they go through. I love this mod because it just adds a whole nother layer to the game. It makes it feel more lively, like the characters are actually like actual characters. So you can see here looking around differently. You'll see the eyes going around, lips are moving. It's realistic. This works again well with the native camera mods, which lets me get up close to the characters. They did a great job with this mod. I can't say enough good things about it. Mod made by PK Heartbreak. And yeah, you'll see Lazel smile like that, maybe. Next, we got ourselves Kay's hair extensions, and this also goes alongside the Bangs Bangs Everywhere mod. So both of these, just great customization. I thought I'd leave customization for the last because not everyone loves the customization mods, but there's a lot of great ones there. Like you can see, this is the Kay's hair extensions, so you can add different hair extensions to your character. Some of them don't work well with others, but this is basically Tav's hair salon at home. So you can apply, like if you go with like a basic hairstyle, you can apply different things to it. So like if we just go with this here, or I guess we'll go with more of a basic looking hair. You can add this like a ponytail, and then on top of this you can go ahead, or really whatever you want, you can add orange long braid to it. And then on top of that you can also go with the Bangs Bangs Everywhere mod and add even further bangs to your character. So you can make whatever hairstyle you want. Basically Tav's hair salon at home, as I said. Full customization to just add a bunch of different stuff to your character and make them look exactly the way you want them to look. So I love this mod because it's fun. Customization is a big part of this. You'll spend hours and hours in the character creator with this because there's just a lot of customization that can be done. Now in the same vein, this is Persendipity made this mod, and the Kay's hair extension. They also made the Kay's hair mod, which I guess I'll show off as an honorable mention here because there's a few really great hair options. Of course it's being combined with the other hair there, but yeah, they've added a ton of unique hairstyles to the game and I think they look great. But also P4 Padme 4000 made a ton of incredible mods. They're a great mod creator. I love everything that they've made. There's been so many great mods that have come out from Padme 4000. Like you can make your characters look like anyone. You can make them look like Zevlor here. You can add different characters' faces to different races. So I got a half drow here, and I can add in like Shadowheart's face, and then we have Hera's face, and Kaga's face, and Floric's face there, and then Viconia. There's a few versions of these mods. You can add like Mistress face here. Mistress does look a little goofy. My favorite face mod being Vampirin's face mod from Nexus Mods. I'm hoping that this one will get added to the in-game mod manager eventually, because they are working on it. So hopefully this will make its way there. Another mod that I think is really great and adds a lot to the game is the Visible Shield mod. So this does basically what the name implies. If you got a shield, it'll be on your character. So right here you can see the shield is on my back. So yeah, this is going to continue to have it on your back, and any characters that have shields on their back In addition to this, another mod that I think works well with this is the dye your shields mod, so you can go ahead and change the color of your shields. This one's a lot of fun because if you've played the game many times, you've seen many of the different combinations. Doesn't work with every dye, so you got to be careful. Some of the shields don't actually get the dye off them, so I guess this one in particular. But you can see here, I got the Swire sled board, and we'll just add another dye to it. It does it for most of the shields. You can see you can make the shields look really clean. I love this mod just for revamping a lot of the appearances of these mods, or of these shields. So yeah, there's tons of customization that can be had with these. So if you're looking to spice up your game, you can see there, it does a lot of cool things. So it's an honorable mention, not one that I listed in the video, but yeah, Visible Shields by Maximus here, great mod. Now we also got the Mindweaver class. I should have mentioned this one earlier. I really enjoy this class because it's got another 4 subclasses that are pretty distinct, with a 5th one being added, the Aetheric Strider there. So I haven't updated my mod here, but I got the Psionic Warden, Forest Blade, Astral Seer, and Void Reaver. This one's a one-handed weapon specialist dealing extra psychic damage. The Forest Blade does force damage and it has heavy armor. The Astral Seer is a spellcaster that focuses on cold and psychic damage, but it also has astral anomalies, allowing you to randomly attack targets around you in an area. So it's like the wild magic sorcerer. And the Void Reaver uses 2 long swords and deals psychic damage with them. So yeah, a really great mod. I love this one, made by ZX10RX. And finally, the Mystic. Everyone knew this mod would be here, especially if you've played on console too, because this is one of the most fleshed out mods, and it just recently got another update. So with this mod, it has a ton of cantrips here, like 13 different cantrips, over 64 different class passives that you can choose from, which add numbers of spells, anywhere from 4 to like 8 spells from these. So yeah, it's pretty wild. And then 10 subclasses, with the newest one being the Order of the Exorcist, which allows you to summon in spirits. So you can summon in, like, at level 17, you can summon 5 additional spirits, and they take on different classes, like the Bard, the Fighter, or you can have 5 wizards casting fireballs. It's a whole lot of fun. This is a class you can solo the game with because it is quite OP. Using things like, there's a lot of psychic damage, especially once you get Act 2. You can get the Resonant Stone to double it, so it's very OP, but it's a fun class, and I had to give it a mention on this list because it's just very well fleshed out. This mod is made by Zevo here, so yeah, we got a lot of great mods in Baldur's Gate 3. I just want to let you know my favorite 25, the best mods in Baldur's Gate 3. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. There's always being new mods added every single day, every single hour, and I'm scouring through them all, testing them all, and letting you guys know the best of them. So hit that subscribe button below if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day.